Okay, folks, today we're going to fly from Boston to Martha's Vineyard, which is an island off the coast of Cape Cod, so it'll be a scenic flight. And we want to make sure we go in and make sure the weather is good. So we're taking down the clouds here. We don't need any bad weather, right? We don't need that much fuel. That's good. Alright, I'm parked next to runway 14 at Boston. Parking brakes off, flaps to 5. We're going to take this turn. You want to take your turns at about 10 knots. 10 knots. Just slow. You got to turn slow in these things. It's not that easy because, it's just a flight simulator for your mobile phone, but in real life, obviously a lot easier, I'm sure. Alright. Increase the throttle up to about 87. This is at 89, which is good enough. You can see the plane's barreling down the runway now. Ground speed's 130, 140. Rotate, and there you go. Up, gear up. Flaps to 0. Alright, now we didn't do the flight plan yet, so we gotta do altitude. I'm gonna bring the altitude to maybe 10,000 because we're not gonna. This is a really short flight again. Alright, and so we can set the speed 250 because we're under 10,000 feet. You don't want to go above 250. It's a violation. Definitely a violation, although you can apparently ask the tower for permission to go above 250 if necessary. But in the game here, you would get a violation in the game too. So, all right, now we got to set where we're gonna go, and we know that Martha's Vineyard is. I know it happens to be over this way, so we'll just turn the plane that way for now. But now we're gonna actually do a flight plan. Okay, this is the hook, the Cape Cod hook. This is Boston up here. See the white dot up there flashing? This is the hook of Cape Cod out here. And Martha's Vineyard, where all the rich people go on vacation, is an island off of Falmouth, Massachusetts. It's about, I don't know, probably 10 miles of ocean between the mainland and the edge of Martha's Vineyard here. Alright, so we click Martha's Vineyard, 67 feet above sea level. Choose an ILS runway. Runway 24, approach straight in to runway 24. Vectors to final, add to flight plan. Now we have a flight plan. We're going to go back here and hit LNAV. The plane will now automatically go to, I'm going to keep the altitude low for this flight. Plane will, wrong way here. Plane will automatically start descending to Martha's Vineyard based on those inputs I just did. And what happens is, as you can see here, it's counting down 7 nautical miles till vertical navigation kicks in. And that will start. We're at 10,000 feet. We will start going, and 7 nautical miles will start actually going down to landing altitude. But now we're at 10,000. We can go over 300 knots. This is a really quick flight. 7 minutes to the next. So basically 7 minutes until we get there. But once the vertical navigation kicks in, I'm going to have to reduce the speed back to 250. This is on the Infinite Flight training server, though, so there's no violations.
just to let you know, if it was this is the casual server. I'm sorry, if it was the training server or the expert server, those parts of Infinite Flight would give you violations if you went over 250 knots under 10,000. So vertical navigation is going to kick in right now. VNav descending to choppy at 1700. And here it goes. You can see over here under this white dot, and I'm flashing. It's going down 1,000 feet per minute, 1,100 feet per minute, 1,200 feet per minute. It's going to bring me all the way down to 1,700.
All right, well, it does that. We can just sort of talk about coastline over here. This is this area here. This is where the Mayflower came in, like right through here, and landed over here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Plymouth, Massachusetts, the famous landing of the Mayflower in 1620. Actually, the Plymouth Rock that you hear about is about right here where this dot's flashing, on the side of the ocean there, where apparently the Pilgrims landed their Mayflower boat and met the Wampanoag Indians led by Massasoit and Samoset. And there's a good book called The Mayflower by Nathaniel Philbrick. Really good book. I really highly recommend that. Happened to read it, so it's about this whole region from 1620 to 1670. But anyway, getting off topic here. This is the tip of Cape Cod, Provincetown, Massachusetts. These are the other towns. This is the hook right along here. The lower part of the hook has a lot more land where the majority of people live. And well-known towns like Falmouth, Hyannis, Chatham, Yarmouth, Bourne, Sandwich, and the towns near the Cape Cod Canal, Plymouth, and Wareham. This is the mouth of the Cape Cod Canal right here on the eastern side. We're going to fly right over the Cape Cod Canal. We're still descending 7,000 feet. Now, I've checked the Flight Radar 24, which is the website where you can, it's one of the many websites probably where you can track any flight you want and see what flights are overhead and whatnot. Because I live in this area, I check it all the time, and I see flights going back and forth from Boston to Martha's Vineyard all the time. They're constantly, every day. Probably busier during the warmer months of the year, but they do fly from Boston to Martha's Vineyard all day long. Some are small planes and some are helicopters. You're almost never going to get a 737 because Martha's Vineyard is not a huge airport, but I do believe it could, wouldn't have any problem accommodating a 737. Though I really don't know, to be honest with you. Well, it has ILS, and it didn't give me. I think it might have given me a problem if it wasn't able to do a 737. I know if I was flying a 777, a 777. If I was flying one of those, it would it tells you can't land at this airport because the plane's too big. So I'm assuming we'll do that with the 737 too. All right, here we go over the Cape Cod Canal. This is the eastern entrance. It was dug in 1913, I believe. Cape Cod Canal. This is the Sagamore Bridge right there. There's two bridges, 7 miles long. This is the Bourne Bridge on the other side, right under the plane here. And that goes out into Buzzards Bay, which is right here. It's a well-known university over here called Mass Maritime, which teaches seafaring students. They'll be professionals in the industry. navigate ships all over the world. That's what that university is. We're flying over. This is the Veterans Cemetery over this way, over here. The director of photography for The Godfather is buried in that cemetery. It's just an interesting tidbit. Gordon Willis, he was a famous director of photography in Hollywood. This is the Otis Air National Guard base, I believe. No, I'm sorry, that's Hyannis Airport, I think. Actually, I can't read it. Oh, no, it's Falmouth. I'm sorry, it's Falmouth Airport, Cape Cod Regional, Falmouth, United States. Oh, we got some cloud covers. I'll turn that off. It's alright. How far we got here? Really, this is a real short flight. Okay, we're coming in for the, we're going to do a right turn into Martha's Vineyard, United States. Alright, 1 minute and 42 seconds. We do want to slow the plane down below 200 knots. When it gets below 200 knots and 3,000 feet, which is where we are now, we can turn on the approach mode. I'm just going to straighten out the plane, get a little closer. And then over here, you can see the APPR on the lower right-hand side here, under this dot, but down 3 blocks. Approach mode right there. See that? Oops, I hit it. Maybe hit it too early. It's alright. Alright, here we come. Alright, we're gonna land on Martha's Vineyard. And I'm sorry about this weather situation. Maybe I don't know why it's doing that. Because I don't have any. Well, maybe if I put the clouds. Oh, I see, yeah. Because clear. You want to do clear. You want to put the clouds higher, right? So, I don't know. I'm going to have to fix that in the next flight. I was hoping to land in a clear day, but that's Murphy's Law for you right there. If anything can go wrong, it probably will. Alright. Here we are. We're going to make the turn right now. Do I see some clearing? Looks like it's clearing up a little bit. I don't know. Alright. And 1-3 straighten out. I'm going to put the gear down. Flaps. We can do a little bit of flaps. Slow down a little bit more. Every time you slow down a little bit, you do some more flaps. Flaps 15. Gear down. Approach mode is locked in. Alright, so that is the coast of Falmouth, Cape Cod. And as you can see, Martha's Vineyard is very close to it. It's probably like a 20-minute boat ride. I can't remember exactly how long, but you can bring your car over too, which is interesting. You drive right onto the boat with your car, and they bring you over. It's expensive to do that. Everything about Martha's Vineyard seems to be expensive. And the sister island, which is over here with this flashing, is Nantucket, which is, I believe, even more of a wealthy area. You really have to have a lot of money to own a house on Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard. It's kind of ironic because you can't really go anywhere besides your small little, islands without a major inconvenience. But I suppose these people are the ones flying back and forth all day. airport to Boston and New York probably. So instead of going down the street for a bottle of milk, they just take a flight over to LaGuardia and a taxi to Fifth Avenue and go shopping. Maybe that's how they do it. I really don't know. One of those type of people. Alright, let's lower the speed here. 150 and flat 25. I'll put the auto brake on medium, which arms the spoilers. Still a little bit foggy here in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. I got the flaps on 25. They go to 40, but I don't believe it's necessary to ever have to do, unless you really have to slow down. I guess on a short runway, maybe. 25 is plenty, I find. You want it to be a nice level look coming in. The plane looks level. If you've ever landed in a plane before, you see that window. Sometimes the approach can take forever to scan it. But this one is, everything about this flight's short. Even though this would be quite a drive and a boat ride, together would take hours to get there from Boston.
300.
In a plane, it does not take long. Alright, lower the speed to 130.
200.
Flaps. Okay, here we go for the landing.
100.
Try to do an interesting angle. Alright. Every time I use auto brake, it seems it throws the plane off the center line, so that's something that they need to fix, in my opinion. Alright, I bring it to a gate, but I'm sure this airport doesn't have gates. Do that on the next flight. Thank you for watching the flight from Boston to Martha's Vineyard.